Imagine walking alone at night, the streetlights flickering above you. Suddenly a stranger approaches, and before you know it, pain, darkness, silence. Between May and August of 2010, the city of Flint, Michigan, was gripped by fear as a serial stabber stalked the streets, leaving a trail of blood and unanswered questions. The man responsible? Elias Abuelazam, an Israeli immigrant with a chilling appetite for violence. How did this man, seemingly ordinary, become one of America's most notorious serial attackers? Let's dive into the shocking story of Elias Abuelazam, the Flint Serial Stabber. Elias Abuelazam was born in Israel in 1976. His early life was unremarkable, at least on the surface. He immigrated to the United States and settled in Michigan, working odd jobs and blending into society. But behind closed doors, there were red flags. Friends and co-workers described him as temperamental, aggressive, and sometimes downright menacing. One former neighbor even recalled that Abuelazam would often get into fights over the smallest things, but no one suspected the level of violence he was truly capable of. May 2010. Flint, Michigan. One by one, men were being attacked in the dead of night. The victims, mostly black men, often alone, were approached by a stranger asking for directions or help with his car. The moment they let their guard down, he struck. A single stab wound, a deep slash, a sudden, unprovoked attack. Many of the victims survived, but some weren't so lucky. The community was terrified. Was it a gang member, a psychopath? No one knew. As the bodies piled up, authorities realized they had a serial criminal on their hands. The attacks weren't random, they were calculated, and the attacker was growing bolder. With over a dozen victims and multiple fatalities, the FBI joined the hunt. Witnesses provided a chillingly consistent description. A white male in a green SUV, often seen fleeing the scene. For months, police followed every lead, but Abuelazam managed to stay one step ahead until he slipped up. One of his victims survived and gave police a crucial detail. The attacker had an accent. Bingo. Authorities dug into records and cross-referenced suspect descriptions. That's when they found him. Abuelazam had been stopped for a minor traffic violation just weeks earlier, driving a green Chevy Blazer. But by the time police pieced it together, he was gone. August 11, 2010, Detroit Metro Airport. Elias Abuelazam was attempting to board a flight to Tel Aviv. He had his bags packed, ready to escape justice. But just as he was about to leave the country, federal agents swarmed the terminal. He was caught, handcuffed, and taken into custody. One officer later stated he showed no remorse, no fear, just a blank expression. In court, Abuelazam showed little emotion. He faced charges for 5 murders and over a dozen attacks across multiple states. His defense? Insanity, but the jury wasn't buying it. In 2012, he was sentenced to life in prison without parole. Today, Elias Abuelazam remains behind bars, a grim reminder of how a single individual can terrorize an entire community. Despite his conviction, questions still remain. Why did he target mostly black men? Was it racial or just a coincidence? And most chilling of all, were there more victims we don't even know about? What do you think? Was Elias Abuelazam just a violent opportunist? Or was there a deeper, more sinister motive behind his attacks? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into true crime, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Until next time, stay safe and stay curious.